now I'm here with Rachele Parente. She is the administrative assistant in Pastoral Ministries, and you have news for us, don't you?
Yes, I have some calendar of events going on this month. But the first news is, if people aren't aware of, is that we moved temporarily to actually Village Square.
Yes, I am aware just because I live down here and I walk by you all the time. So if you're looking at Pastoral Ministries or looking for them, they are now down here in the hallway along Village Square.
So it's kind of nice to meet new faces and to see everybody. So that's been a blessing.
Yeah, and different from where you were before, right? Because you're on the main drag now, so you will see a lot more people go by and stare at you.
So I think, so we've been getting a lot of visitors, which is wonderful. But today there's going to be a movie showing in the theater, and it's called Come Before Winter. And it's about, it's a documentary on the last days of Dietrich Bonhoeffer, is that correct? And he's a German pastor that took a stand against the Third Reich. So it'll be a very interesting...
Very prominent figure in German history. One we can be proud of.
Yes. Yeah. So he's just a prolific person in Germany, as well as a Christian, taking a Christian stance against. So that's happening today, and that starts at 1. So.
Unusual time to start, so people note that, 1 o'clock in the theater today.
And then on this Thursday at 11 to 12 in the side chapel, we have our monthly faith, grief, and loss group. And it's open to anybody that feels that they need to go talk about their grief with a community of other members that are maybe experiencing the same losses that they have or something new. So it's a really enriching group that they help each other go through.
And I think sometimes it's good to go even if you don't want to talk, so that you come out of, just being encapsulated with your grief by yourself and sitting with other people who are caring. And
that's
I think that may also be good.
I've been in groups where you often learn new things about yourself through other people's stories, and just gain some encouragement on just the pain that they've traversed and the journey that they're on. It's a wonderful. It's painful, but it's a wonderful place to be.
Well, it's painful anyway, right? So it helps to share sometimes.
Yeah, of course.
Is that led by a specific person?
So we take turns in Pastoral Ministries, and it happens to be my turn this Thursday, so I'll be there.
Okay, that's from 11 to 12.
11 to 12, yes, in the chapel, the side of it. And then on the following Thursday, on the 19th, the Village Church will go to Garden Ridge for a special worship service at 2 p.m. So that's something that brightens up the day over there. Last week, Garden Ridge came to the Village Church.
Yes.
It was wonderful. Chaplain,
that was a big undertaking, wasn't it? To get all the people over there.
It was, and the staff at Pastoral Ministries in Garden Ridge were just absolutely amazing, and the volunteers that were ushering and doing the communion was fabulous. And then Chaplain Annie Smith led the worship service, and that's just where she's a wonderful chaplain at Garden Ridge. Yeah. So, and then on the 30th of September, Green Spring Fellowship is sponsoring a worship concert, which starts at 7 p.m. in the chapel. So, and it's followed by an ice cream and cookie social. So it's a great event to come. Yes. That's Reverend Jeannie Hennepin leads that service. And
so it's a service or it's a concert? I got confused.
This is a concert. It's a Monday. It's usually what is they hold their Monday night services.
I see.
But they're having a concert that day with us.
So it's open to everybody then?
Yes. Oh, yes, of course. It's a great
But
time.
it is a Christian concert? Or?
Yes. It's,
okay.
And then on, and I know we're going into October, but because it's on the 1st, wanted to mention it. The Village Church is sponsoring a the Washington National Cathedral pilgrimage.
Uh-huh.
So it's from 10 to 2 that day, and it's a half a day, a retreat on prayer, worship, reflecting, led by the cathedral staff. And there also will be a worship service at noon with the Holy Eucharist.
Mm-hmm.
So their seating is limited at this time frame. There's the max right now we have is for 20 because of the limitations because we will have bus services.
Mm-hmm.
And the bus should leave at 8:15 a.m. And then the cost is $50, but it doesn't include lunch. But there's a cafe on the premise.
So 50 is 50?
Yes.
$50, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And what do I do if I want to participate there?
You can contact Reverend Miriam Gentle,
Uh-huh.
or you can contact myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have moved to Village Square, but I'm sure your extensions have not changed.
Yeah, their numbers are still the same. So
Okay.
everyone in Pastoral Ministries, yes, are the numbers.
So if I want to go to the National Cathedral with you all, I call and I make a reservation.
Yeah, that's correct.
And I know I have to have $50 and I have to be up and dressed by 8:15.
Yes.
On what was it? October 1st?
First, yes,
Okay.
October 1st.
Mhm.
Yes.
Mhm.
And the last thing we have, which is to be determined, is the Rosh Hashanah live streaming service from Beth El Hebrew congregation.
We've done that for a number of years. I remember that because I started it some years ago.
Oh.
That Beth El is one of the Hebrew congregations in the area where many of our residents are members or used to be members when they lived in the area. And they have a wonderful Rosh Hashanah service, and they pipe it out into the world if you can connect to them.
Oh, yeah,
And
that's
I know
great.
that Greenspan can. So I'm glad that it's
Yeah.
still happening, because several people cannot get out anymore but would like to be a part of the High Holy Days.
Yes, which is a great avenue, especially with people homebound.
That's right.
This service with the television station helps
Good.
with that.
Okay. Yeah, Rosh Hashanah starts on the evening of September. We're
Third.
back in September.
Yes.
September
On the 30th.
29.
Oh, the 20th, yeah.
That's the evening, yeah. And then the day service is the first day of Rosh Hashanah is the 30th of September. And you will provide details on how that works as we get closer.
Yes,
is that
that's
what you're
correct,
saying?
yes.
Okay. Yeah. Wow, we're really getting into the season,
Yes.
right? Many
It's happy.
activities
The
and
summer
festivities.
just
Yeah.
went by so quickly.
Yes, yeah, I can hardly believe that I'm supposed to say summer is over. I'm not quite ready for that yet.
We have a couple more weeks.
Yeah,
but
thanks. Yeah. So you had started with a movie today, and then you have several activities throughout the month. And what should people remember most about this? Definitely pre-book if they want to participate in the outing to the cathedral.
Because that's the...
Is that open also to people in wheelchairs? You said you'll have a bus.
Yes,
But, some buses are
correct.
better equipped than others. Okay.
So yes, they'll have seating. It just, the numbers, which is fine. I don't want anybody to be concerned about that. There was talk about getting a second bus just in case then we had higher interest in it.
Yeah.
So if you have walkers, canes, wheelchairs, everyone is welcome.
You'll make it
Please.
happen.
Yeah, we'll make it happen.
Oh, okay,
No
good.
one will be turned away.
Yeah.
And it's a great experience. I haven't actually had a tour or done the pilgrimage that's led by the staff, but I've been there, and it's just such a beautiful place.
It is.
For reflection and...
It is a special
Yes.
place for sure. Now, do you know what it entails when you say pilgrimage? That's clearly different from a regular visit in a church.
And it's led by the staff, so they'll go through the gardens, they'll talk about the architecture and the history of the cathedral, but then they'll have a service, an hour-long service. So that's part of that 4-hour tour, the pilgrimage. Yeah.
Okay.
That's all I know about that.
And then you said something about lunch. That
Yes.
you all will have lunch together there
Yes.
at the end of this
Yeah,
program?
there will be lunch, but that's not part of the fee. So yeah, there will be time set aside to eat at the cafe.
At the cafe, or you bring your own?
You can
Okay.
bring your own too.
Okay,
So that would be
good, yeah. Always good to know.
Yes.
Okay. Anything else? Any final thoughts?
No, I would encourage people to come see the movie.
The Bonhoeffer movie today.
Movie. I think such a wonderful man to learn about, and I don't know, it's just a very important figure.
It certainly took special people to stand up in the Third Reich and face all the dangers that came with that. And he was so grounded in his faith and in his philosophy. That very impressive person, you're absolutely right. And a good role model. You know, we have dangerous times to face right now, so it's a good movie to watch, not just as a historic knowledge, but for us.
Yeah, for today. I think one of the most impressive things, or a couple of impressive things I've learned about him, is that he was so young when he decided that this is what he wanted to. He wanted to be a pastor and give his life to God. And then at one point he had a chance to stay in the U.S.
Yes.
And he decided no.
He knew where he belonged.
Yeah. So he went back knowing that he might not come out of it alive.
Yes.
So I just...
Well, so if you have time today, make sure you show up at 1 o'clock at the theater. Thank you so much for being here today, Rachele. It was very nice to meet you and nice to hear all these things that are going on in Pastoral Ministries.
Well, thanks for having me.